Hello guys, this is Michael Sanchez and welcome to my next lesson on how to put fingers down on the violin. So the first thing we're going to talk about today is tuning. To make sure that our violin's in tune, it's very, very important. Being that the violin is fretless, it's that much more important compared to like a guitar that the violin's in tune. So we're going to talk a little bit about that today. And then we're going to actually put some fingers down in some songs, and by the end of today's lesson you're going to be able to play Mary Had a Little Lamb as well as Jingle Bells. So to be able to tune your violin, you're going to need one of two things. Right here we actually have a metronome tuner, which you can definitely use. You can get these in any basic music store. This is going to tell you if your violin's a little bit out of tune or not. Also, you can download an application on your phone, on your Droid or iPhone, which is going to show you if your violin is in tune or not. So to demonstrate a little bit about tuning, I'm going to play my open E string. As you guys can see here on the left, the E pops up, but notice that the lever is not quite in the middle of the tuner. It's a little bit towards the left. And also notice the same thing over on the right with my phone. The E is showing up a little bit to the left. So to be able to get your E string into tune, we're going to use our fine tuners. And right here, as you can see, this little knob is the fine tuner, and we're going to twist it to the right to actually get our violin into tune. So now with our devices, it's showing up in tune. Some violins have one fine tuner and some violins have all four fine tuners. Just depends on the instrument. So in this case, I would only be able to use the fine tuner for my E string. And for the other strings, I would have to use the A, D, and G string pegs. So if you don't have an A, D, or G string fine tuner, we're going to have to use the pegs, which are up here. And it is definitely tricky to use the pegs at first. But I'll give you a couple tips on how to use them. So what you're going to want to do, let's take the A string, is loosen the string first, and notice where the strings are corresponding with each peg. So the A string peg is way up here, so I'm loosening the peg up. So now it's showing me a really low pitch. And what I want to do is I want to actually twist in while going away from me so that the peg sticks. If you don't do that, what happens is it can slip and it comes down like that. So I'm going to twist it up, and while I'm doing that, hopefully it's sticking. I'm going to bring it up to the appropriate pitch, which would be A. So I'd like you to repeat that process for strings E, A, D, and G. And then once you're in tune, we can actually put stickers on your violin, which is going to help you with putting fingers down. So when we play open D, no fingers down, we call that D0. When we put first finger down on the D string, that's an E. When we put second finger down on the D string, that's an F. And when we put third finger down on the D string, that's a G. And we're going to need to put stickers in each of these spots, so now that we're in tune, we're going to be able to do that a lot easier. Being that the violin is a fretless instrument, we're going to want to put our fingers in exactly the right spots. So that's why it's so important to put the stickers in the right spots. So with our tuner, we're actually going to be able to tell if we're putting the sticker on the right location, as well as the F and the G. So I'd like you guys to double check to make sure that your D string's in tune. So as you can see, my D string is right in the right spot with the tuner. Now if I put my first finger down, I want the tuner to show up as an E. That's first finger on the D string. So now if I was here, that's too low. Or if I was here, that's too high. But I want it to be right here. Now this spot right here where my finger's at, that's exactly where we want our sticker to be. So I'm going to grab one of these stickers here. And put it right in that same spot that I just had the E tone at. Now what I need to do, which is kind of tricky, is to put the sticker underneath the strings. You definitely don't want to put it on top of the strings. So I'm going to put it right underneath, like this. Now notice when my first finger is down on that red spot, it's showing up as an E. So now the sticker that we just put down on the violin is E on the D string. We call that D1. But that's also a reference for all the other strings. So first finger on the A string is a B, first finger on the E string is an F, and first finger on the G string is an A. Now we're going to put on our second finger sticker, which on the D string is an F sharp. So if I put my second finger about a space apart from 1, which you'll get used to how far that is, we're just going to have to find it. It should read F sharp. So that's exactly where I want my second finger sticker to be. So I'm going to put that right underneath the string. That. And that's showing up as an F sharp. So once you have your first finger and second finger stickers down on the violin, the third finger sticker is a little bit easier to put down because the second finger and the third finger will be right next to each other. So if I do that, if I put my second finger down on the D string and put third finger right next to it, it should read as a G, as you can see there. So I'm going to put my third finger sticker right next to that green, just like that. So now when you're all done putting all the stickers down, you should have your E sticker, first finger on the D, second finger F sharp, and third finger G sticker, just like this. So now that we have our 3 stickers on, I'd like to put one more sticker on, which would be even with where the first finger is, over on the left side. Notice that those both are the same space apart from the nut, and this is actually where we're going to put our thumb. So if you didn't have this on before, this is a really good reference of where to put the thumb position. So just to make sure that we're in the correct spots with the stickers, I'm going to just recap each note and make sure that we're in tune. So open D looks good. As long as it's in between those little 2 notches you see at the top, it should be fine. I'm going to put my first finger down, E, F sharp, and G. So now that we have our stickers in the correct spots, I want to show you guys how it looks to actually put the fingers down. So first finger, notice that my knuckle's up really high. We talked about this in a previous lesson. We don't want the fingers down like this. This is incorrect. So here's my first finger down on the D string. I'm using the very tip of my finger. We don't want to use the nail, just the very tip right before the nail. There's first finger. Second finger, notice the angles of my fingers. So we don't want them like this. That's incorrect. It's going to be hard to find notes this way over finding them from back here. So here's second finger down. Then if I put, this is really important, having second finger and third finger as close as you can get them. So to sound the best on the violin, if you get these really, really close, you're going to sound in tune more. So first finger, second finger, third finger down. Notice where my thumb's at, and my wrist is straight. If you have your fingers in the correct positions, this is the way it should look. One thing I want to talk about real quick is that we don't have to have all the fingers down to play each note. So we don't have to have 1, 2, and 3 down to play your G. We can actually play the G like this, but still notice the angles of the fingers. So we can play F like this, and then E. But we can also play these notes with all the fingers down. A lot of times it's easy to find the 3 when you already have your 2 down, because you just put it right next to it like that. So now that we know where to put fingers down in the violin, we're going to be able to play some songs. So if you reference your book, number 6, D String Magic, we're going to be playing 3 open Ds, rest, and then 3 D1s, rest, 3 D2s. Notice the speed of my bow and notice that I'm getting all the way to the tip, and then 3 D3s. Good, so that's basically showing all the notes on the D string. Next song is Uncle's Melody. Starts off with 2 D3s, D2, D1, and then 3 D0s. Rest, then 2 D3s, 2 D2, rest, rest, rest. And then next I'm going to play through Au Clair de la Lune, number 8. Like that. Now one bad habit I don't want you to get into is picking your fingers up too far when you do the open string. So make sure you keep it close so that you're ready for the next notes. Now that we know those 3 songs, we can actually start playing Mary Had a Little Lamb, which is number 9. Let's play through that one. And then jingle bells, number 10. Very good. So now if you guys are getting any sort of bad sounds like screeching or whistling sounds, most likely it's coming from your bow grip. So definitely go through some of my previous videos on that. And also just notice the speed of my bow, the consistency. It's really important for that. Just keeping relaxed in the grip. But it's going to take you a while to get through these to sound perfect. So just work on them and eventually they're going to sound better and better. Most students that have a music background that come to me in a private lesson setting are able to play through Mary Had a Little Lamb and even Jingle Bells sometimes with just one lesson. Now students that come to me with no music background, or a lot of times kids under age 10 are going to need at least 2-3 weeks to get through this particular lesson. Now it all takes practice and it all just takes time, but just want to give you guys a good idea kind of where you should be at maybe after this lesson. So for music background people, maybe a week, and then for ones that don't have a music background, maybe 2 or 3 weeks.